Good evening. Settle in, relax your breath, and let's drift into a quiet corner of history. Tonight, we follow a story where danger had no sound, no color, and no warning. Let's begin. A small scrap market in Delhi suddenly became the site of an invisible threat, one powerful enough to harm without ever being seen. Shops stood still under the dull yellow light, unaware of the weight hidden inside a forgotten machine. How did a tiny piece of metal unleash one of India's most alarming radiation accidents? In early 2010, the bustling lanes of Mayapuri, West Delhi, were alive with the usual sound of metal being cut, hammered, and sold. Workers moved through piles of scrap, old engines, rusted machines, broken instruments. Among them was a dismantled research device from a university, one that still carried a dangerous radioactive source. This is not a story of an explosion, but it is a story of how a single oversight revealed serious gaps in safety, and why it still matters to us today. In April 2010, a scrap dealer bought several pieces from a university auction. Among the metal parts was a device once used to teach radiation experiments, something that should have been carefully sealed and tracked. Inside it was cobalt-60, a strong radioactive source, broken open without anyone knowing. Days passed. Workers began to feel strange. Their skin darkened, painful. Some felt dizzy, others felt weak. The symptoms made no sense at first. Doctors treated them, but the mystery only deepened. Then, one doctor suspected something unusual: radiation. Authorities arrived with detectors in hand. As they entered the narrow lanes of Mayapuri, the meters began to beep, sharp, rising sounds that confirmed their fear. The streets were sealed. Workers were asked to step back. Teams in protective suits moved quietly through the scrap shops, collecting fragments with lead shields and robotic tools. It took days to secure everything. Hospitals filled with workers suffering from radiation injuries. One worker, who had handled the source the most, tragically did not survive his exposure. Others continued their treatment, carrying long-lasting effects on their health. Some reports said the machine had been decommissioned properly. Others said the documentation was incomplete. Different voices disagreed on whether warnings were clearly given during the auction. And deeper still, tracking systems for older scientific equipment had gaps. Records from past decades were not always aligned, so the full chain of mistakes remains unclear even today. There were no flames, no smoke, no dramatic scene, just quiet harm spreading in ways that people could not understand. It also highlighted something deeper: ethics, responsibility, and the care we owe to people who work with discarded machines every day. We know a university device reached a scrapyard. We know it held radioactive cobalt-60. We know workers were exposed before anyone realized the danger. What we don't know is the exact moment the mistake happened, or how many people walked past the source before it was found. One thought connects it all. A hidden risk became visible only after harm was done. The Mayapuri incident did not change Delhi overnight, but it left us with a clear message. Safety grows from awareness, from careful systems, and from respecting the tools we create. Thank you for listening, softly, to this chapter of history. May it remind us how important it is to protect one another, even from things we cannot see. Good night, and if you wish to continue your slow journey through history, you might like our next story. Rest well.